Okay, so now that you've watched a video on solving for a two-step equation, let's go to the next step, which would be using the distributive property to solve for the variable x. And we have already been using and have learned about the distributive property, but I do want to remind you, and here's the definition of the distributive property. This is when you multiply each number within the parentheses by the number outside of the parentheses. In this case, that would be 2. If at any time you need to stop and take notes on this, then that would be fine. If you wanted to pause this now and write this down on notes, that would be fine. I'm going to continue on with showing you how to solve this problem here. 2 times 5x minus 3 equals 14. I'm going to apply the distributive property to this problem for us to solve for x. Now I'm going to use what the definition says, that I'm going to multiply each number within the parentheses by the number without. So the first thing I'm going to do is do 2 times 5x. I know that 2 times 5x is 10x. Now I also need to do 2 times negative 3. I know 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And I don't need to apply any type of distributive property on this side, so I can just leave this as a 14. And now that I have done that step, I am back to a now two-step equation where I need to isolate my variable. So I am going to do the inverse of negative 6, which is positive 6. I'm going to add that to both sides. I am left on this side with a 10x, because these will cancel out, equals 14 plus 6, which is 20. I need to do one last step to solve for x, which would be to divide by both sides, because I'm multiplying. So I need to do the inverse. That leaves x equaling 2. That should be your answer. I'm going to double check by plugging 2 in for x. So I'm replacing the x here with the 2 that I now determined it was. I can apply the distributive property again to check if my answer is correct. I know that 5 times 2 is 10, so 2 times 10 would be 20, and 2 times negative 3 would be negative 6, which equals 14. Is that true? Is this side the same as this side? Yes, it is. So I have completed my distributive property. I am now going to give you a few questions back on my website for you to use this model to help you solve 2 more problems on my website. So after you have watched this and reviewed it, you may go to my website and try the 2 problems on your own. Thanks.